This year's virtual 24-hour Le Mans caused quite a stir. The race counted several red flags due to a problem with the server, and several competitors lost their positions due to a broken connection. This caused Max Verstappen to voice his opinion about the virtual event. What did he say? Stay tuned to find out. In all these years of racing, Max Verstappen has only become better. Due to his focus and preparation, the Dutchman's career graph has only progressed. The Red Bull Ace is currently not just one of the fastest drivers on F1 courses, but he is also displaying blazing speed in sim racing. Sim racing varies from Formula One racing in part because of the implementation of various approaches. During an interview with former F1 driver David Coulthard, the Dutch driver explained that he does sim racing in his downtime as a positive distraction. When asked what he does in his spare time, Verstappen said, "Sim racing because it keeps me ready to go. I'm spending a lot of time on the setup. I'm not racing a Formula One car on the simulator, but it's like GT cars, so it's also a different technique of driving, so I just keep testing myself." In addition to his real-world racing success, the Red Bull driver is also making a name for himself in the world of professional esports. Verstappen continued, "For me, it's interesting to compare myself with them because they are naturally fast on the sim. I am naturally fast in real life. On the simulator, these guys are the benchmark, and I have to push myself on that limit." In order to enhance his gaming experience, Verstappen has invested a significant amount of money in building a state-of-the-art simulator setup. According to reports, Max Verstappen's racing sim setup cost between $15,000 to $35,000, and it is so valuable that nobody is allowed to go near it. The setup includes a play-seat F1 Ultimate cockpit, a custom-made LM Pro steering wheel by Precision Sim Engineering, Heusinkfeld Ultimate pedals, and a Leo Bodnar sim steering system. Max Verstappen is demonstrating remarkable dedication and versatility by competing in several races. Taking part in various races can give him the confidence he needs to win a third straight title in 2023. The two-time world champion spent his F1 off-season racing in the 24-hour Le Mans from the comfort of his home. The 24-hour Le Mans Virtual is an exciting event for motorsports fans and gamers alike. It brings together professional drivers and sim racers to compete in a virtual version of the famous Circuit de la Sarthe. The virtual race is held on the R-Factor 2 racing simulation platform, which is known for its highly realistic physics and handling. One of the unique aspects of the virtual race is that it allows fans to see their favorite drivers and teams compete in a different setting. Professional drivers who typically race in real-world events such as Formula One, IndyCar or NASCAR have the opportunity to compete in the virtual Le Mans alongside sim racers who are experts in the R-Factor 2 platform. You're enjoying this video, right? You definitely don't want to miss out on other amazing videos. So all you have to do is hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. During the recently held virtual 24 Le Mans, Verstappen was leading the race by over a minute when his screen went black. After this, the car stalled in the garage for several minutes. He was able to return, but had fallen far back in the rankings, and after a pit stop, he was down to 17th. An hour later, he had fought his way back to 14th, but was just under 2 laps behind. When it appeared that the team would not get the laps back despite the problems on the server side, Team Redline decided to retire the number 1 car from the race. Following this, Verstappen vented his opinion on the game, which has been plagued by technical issues and in which several drivers experienced the same problems.
It is. They call it, it's amazingly bad luck. Well, this is just incompetence.
The Dutchman did not hold back on the incompetence of the R-Factor 2 game in which the race was run. The Red Bull star commented during Team Redline's livestream on Twitch,
"They can't even control their own game. And this is already the 3rd time this happens to me now that I get kicked off the game while doing this race, so..."
Because what's the point? You prepare for 5 months trying to win this championship. You're leading the championship, you're trying to win the race for which you prepare for 2 months. Verstappen concluded by saying,
Honestly, it's a joke. It's not even, you cannot call this an event. A clown show.
He then argued he would have a better chance of winning if he went to the casino in Las Vegas. The two-time world champion also expressed his hope that the teammates in the number 2 car of Redline could win the race. But the disappointment remains. Verstappen said, "It's just a shame for everyone in the team because we all wanted to do well here, and then you get this. I think I'm going to uninstall the game. I hope everyone uninstalls the game." He then promised never to participate in the event again. If it comes around again, at least. Indeed, the problems were so great that self-respecting drivers would no doubt think 3 times before signing up for another edition. After all, what is the point of spending months training for a race whose organizers cannot even guarantee 24-hour participation? Then again, when the Formula One world champion, the most important racing class in the world, expresses his total disgust with the organization, it is anything but good publicity. The game was plagued by technical problems several times. These included an hour-long event shutdown and a security breach on the game's servers. Measures were taken to prevent more problems, but despite this, several drivers were thrown out of the game during the race. There are several platforms on which such sim races are played. Reportedly, the platform on which the Le Mans 24-hour was played was not known to be reliable. In other words, problems were to be expected. Surely, in that knowledge, the alarm bells should have gone off at the organisers. But no, they did not make any adjustments beforehand. Jimmy Broadbent can understand why Verstappen reacted the way he did. The well-known sim racer, who has a YouTube channel with more than 800,000 subscribers, explains that he quit the game rFactor 2 years ago because of the many problems with the game. These, years after Broadbent quit, still haven't been fixed. Those random moments when you disconnect are commonplace with the game, according to Broadbent, who himself competed in the virtual 24-hour Le Mans. The fact that Verstappen and his team lost the lead with a few hours to go and did not regain it is therefore quite frustrating. Broadbent also mentions the entry fee of around €2,000 and the months of preparation that goes into it. Broadbent finds it hard to say, but does it anyway. He is not happy with the game either. According to the sim racer, the game has had years to prove itself, but has failed to do so. While Broadbent supported Max Verstappen, some others accused him of fueling toxicity after branding organisers of an online motorsport race clowns. On Boosted Media's Twitter channel, there was extensive coverage of the events during the virtual 24-hour Le Mans. Boosted Media states on Twitter that it is very disappointing that sim racing is being portrayed in such a bad light. Many hours are spent on preparations, which are undone by a problem with the game or server. For Verstappen to speak out so negatively is creating a worse image of sim racing. Romain Grosjean disagrees with Max Verstappen. The Frenchman has reacted online following the Dutchman's comments about the virtual 24-hour Le Mans. Taking to Twitter, Grosjean said in a response to the criticism of the event, "What about when you have an engine failure or mechanical failure in real life? Isn't it the same?" In a separate message, Grosjean said sim racing is super competitive and seeing one of the biggest races in the world being done on a sim is awesome. Yes, a few bits and pieces to improve, but isn't that just like everywhere else? Verstappen's comments were further criticised by commentator Ben Constanduros, who also used social media to express his disappointment with the Dutchman's comments. Constanduros wrote on Twitter, "If it's a clown show, that makes me and my hard-working, dedicated friends clowns. Usually after a 24-hour race, I am tired, but today has been an ugly, exhausting display of the toxic side of sim racing and social media. I am proud of what the Le Mans virtual team has achieved." Ben points out that the previous 2 editions went without server problems and that Verstappen was simply unlucky this time. Yes, it didn't go Max's way today. He was unlucky to be disconnected like a few other drivers. The rest carried on, where Verstappen stopped, one of which won GTE. That is racing. Constanduros concludes, but calling other humans out so strongly and feeding the community with negativity when in such an influential position was not wise and only fuels the toxicity in the community, which only harms the sim racing world as a whole. Verstappen clearly likes to give his all in everything he does. However, we can understand his frustration as sim racing is more than a hobby for the Red Bull man. What's your thoughts about Max Verstappen's reaction to what happened during this year's virtual 24-hour of Le Mans? Let me know in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.